What if the most powerful thing you could do for your longevity happened not in a gym, not in a doctor's office, not in a pharmacy, but in the quiet hour before you close your eyes at night? Researchers who have spent careers studying the world's longest living populations, people who routinely reach 90, 95, even past 100 in remarkable health, have identified patterns. Dietary patterns, social patterns, movement patterns. But there is one pattern that appears so consistently across cultures, across continents, and across centuries of human longevity that it has begun to reshape how the world's leading scientists think about what aging actually is. And almost nobody is talking about it until today. You may have heard of the blue zones. The term was coined by researcher and author Dan Buettner. He spent years working with National Geographic and a team of demographers and scientists to identify the places on Earth with the highest concentrations of people living past 100 in good health. They identified 5 regions: Sardinia in Italy, Okinawa in Japan, Loma Linda in California, the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, and Ikaria in Greece. These communities share certain well-known characteristics: plant-rich diets, strong social bonds, regular natural movement, and a sense of purpose. But when researchers looked more closely at the daily rhythms of the longest-lived individuals within these communities, they found something that rarely makes it into the popular headlines about blue zone living. Almost universally, the people living the longest had a specific and consistent wind-down ritual before sleep. Not just going to bed at a regular time. A ritual. A deliberate sequence of calming, restorative behaviors in the hour before sleep that prepared the body and the mind for the most physiologically important period of the entire day. Because here is what most people fundamentally misunderstand about sleep. Sleep is not rest. Sleep is work. The most important biological work your body does in the entire 24-hour cycle.
Let me tell you what is actually happening inside your body during sleep. Because once you understand this, you will never think about your bedtime routine the same way again. During deep sleep, your brain activates a recently discovered system called the glymphatic system. The glymphatic system was only identified in 2013 by researchers at the University of Rochester, led by Dr. Maiken Nedergaard. Before 2013, scientists did not know existed. Here's what it does. While you sleep, your brain cells shrink by up to 60%, creating expanded spaces between cells through which cerebrospinal fluid flows rapidly. This fluid acts as a cleansing system, flushing out the metabolic waste products that accumulate in the brain during waking hours, including amyloid beta and tau proteins, the same proteins whose accumulation in the brain is the primary pathological marker of Alzheimer's disease. Your brain literally washes itself during deep sleep, and when sleep is disrupted, when you do not get enough of it, or when you do not reach the deeper stages, that cleansing process is incomplete. The waste products accumulate, day after day, night after night. Researchers at Harvard Medical School found that chronic sleep disruption in adults over 60 is one of the strongest modifiable risk factors for cognitive decline and dementia ever identified. Not genetics, not diet, not exercise history, sleep disruption. And what determines the quality of your sleep more than almost any other factor? What happens in the hour before you close your eyes? Sleep science has a term for the hour before sleep. They call it the sleep onset window. And research consistently shows that what you do during this window determines not just how quickly you fall asleep, but how deeply you sleep, how long you stay asleep, and how effectively your body completes its overnight restoration processes. Here is the biological reason why. Sleep is governed primarily by two hormones, melatonin and cortisol. Melatonin is your sleep hormone. It rises as darkness falls and signals to your body that it is time to begin the transition towards sleep. Cortisol is your alertness hormone. It peaks in the morning and gradually declines through the day, reaching its lowest point in the late evening to allow sleep to begin. The problem for most adults over 60 is that the natural production of melatonin declines with age. Research published in the journal of Pineal Research found that melatonin levels in adults over 65 can be as much as 80% lower than in young adults. 80%. This is a primary biological reason why so many seniors struggle to fall asleep, wake frequently during the night, and feel unrestored in the morning. But here is the critical insight. While you cannot fully reverse the age-related decline in melatonin production, you can create the precise environmental and behavioral conditions that maximize whatever melatonin your body is still producing. And the pre-sleep ritual does exactly that. When researchers analyzed the pre-sleep behaviors of the longest-lived individuals in the blue zone communities, they identified a consistent pattern with 4 core elements. Not all 4 were identical across cultures, but each appeared in some form in virtually every individual who lived robustly past 90. The first element was temperature reduction. Almost universally, the longest-lived individuals slept in cool environments and took steps to lower their body temperature before bed, whether through opening windows, removing layers, or bathing with cool or lukewarm water. This is not coincidence. Research from the Netherlands Institute for Neuroscience found that core body temperature must drop by approximately 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit to initiate and maintain deep sleep. A warm bath or shower 1 to 2 hours before bed, counterintuitively, accelerates this cooling process by drawing blood to the skin surface where heat can dissipate more rapidly. A study published in Sleep Medicine Reviews found that a warm bath taken 1 to 2 hours before bedtime reduced the time taken to fall asleep by an average of 10 minutes and significantly increased the proportion of time spent in deep, slow-wave sleep. 10 minutes faster to sleep. Deeper sleep throughout the night from a warm bath. The second element was social connection, or reflection. In Sardinia and Ikaria, the evening meal extended long after the food was finished into conversations, storytelling, and shared reflection on the day. In Loma Linda, the pre-sleep period often included prayer or quiet contemplation. In Okinawa, a practice called moai, a small trusted social group that meets regularly often concluded its gatherings in the early evening, creating a sense of connection and belonging that carried into sleep. The common thread is not the specific activity. It is the psychological state it produces, a sense of safety, belonging, and resolution that allows the nervous system to downshift from the alertness of the day. Research from Carnegie Mellon University found that feelings of social connection before sleep significantly reduced nighttime cortisol levels, allowing the natural sleep onset process to proceed without hormonal interference. The third element was darkness and light discipline. Every long-lived population studied spent significant time outdoors during daylight hours, particularly in the morning, and lived in environments where artificial light was minimal after sunset. This is not merely cultural. It is biological. Morning light exposure sets what chronobiologists call the circadian clock, the internal timing mechanism that regulates when cortisol rises in the morning and when melatonin rises at night. Research from the Salk Institute found that irregular light exposure, particularly blue light from screens in the evening, disrupts circadian timing in ways that suppress melatonin production and significantly reduce deep sleep quality. For adults over 60 whose melatonin production is already compromised, the suppression is particularly damaging. The fourth element was physical stillness and gentle movement, not vigorous exercise before bed, which raises cortisol and core temperature and delays sleep onset, but gentle, deliberate movement, slow walking, gentle stretching, simple breathing exercises that activated the parasympathetic nervous system and signaled to the body that the demands of the day were complete. Here is your complete pre-sleep ritual based on everything the research supports. It takes 45 to 60 minutes. It costs nothing. And if you do it consistently for 3 weeks, the research suggests you will experience measurable improvements in sleep quality, morning energy, cognitive sharpness, and even physical recovery from exercise. 8 p.m., light discipline begins. Dim the lights in your home. If you use a phone, tablet, or television, enable night mode or blue light filtering. Ideally reduce screen use entirely in this final hour, but if that feels too drastic, start by simply dimming and filtering. This single step begins a melatonin rise your body needs approximately 90 minutes before you want to be asleep. 8:15 p.m., warm bath or shower. Not hot, warm to comfortably warm. 10 to 15 minutes. This initiates the core temperature drop that is essential for deep sleep onset. Add Epsom salts if available. Magnesium absorbed through the skin has been shown in research from the University of Birmingham to improve sleep quality and reduce nighttime muscle cramping in older adults. 8:30 p.m., gentle movement. 5 to 10 minutes of slow, deliberate movement. Gentle neck rolls, shoulder circles, slow spinal twists seated on the edge of your bed, not stretching for flexibility. Movement for nervous system downregulation. The goal is to tell your body, through slow, deliberate physical signals, that it is safe to begin shutting down. 8:40 p.m., reflection or gratitude practice. Research from UC Davis found that adults who wrote down or mentally noted 3 specific things they were grateful for each evening fell asleep faster, slept longer, and reported higher morning energy than those who did not. The mechanism is neurological. Gratitude activates the prefrontal cortex while simultaneously reducing activity in the amygdala, the brain's threat detection center. When the amygdala quiets, cortisol drops. When cortisol drops, melatonin rises. When melatonin rises, sleep deepens. 3 things, specific ones, not generic, not I am grateful for my family. Specific, I am grateful for the conversation I had with my daughter this afternoon, or I am grateful that my knees felt better on my walk today. Specificity activates the neurological response that vague gratitude does not. 8:50 p.m., breathing protocol, this is a final and perhaps most powerful step. Research from Stanford University's neuroscience department published in 2023 identified a specific breathing pattern called physiological sighing as the single fastest way to reduce physiological stress and activate the parasympathetic nervous system. 2 inhales through the nose. A full inhale followed immediately by a short, sharp second inhale to fully inflate the lungs, followed by a long, slow exhale through the mouth. 2 inhales, 1 long exhale. Repeat 5 times. This pattern deflates the small air sacs in the lungs called alveoli that collapse during normal breathing, releasing carbon dioxide more efficiently and triggering an immediate calming response through the vagus nerve. 5 repetitions, 90 seconds. The fastest neurological off switch available to the human body. 9 p.m. bed, dark room, cool temperature, the same time every night. Consistency of sleep timing, what sleep researchers call sleep regularity, has been shown in a 2023 study from Harvard to be as important as sleep duration for long-term health outcomes. Not just how long you sleep. When you sleep consistently, predictably, on a schedule your body learns to anticipate. Before we move to the close, I want to share one more piece of information that could make an immediate difference for many people watching this. Magnesium deficiency. Research published in the journal Nutrients found that approximately 60% of adults over 60 do not consume adequate magnesium through diet alone. Magnesium plays a direct role in over 300 biological processes, including the regulation of GABA receptors in the brain. GABA is the primary inhibitory neurotransmitter responsible for calming neural activity and enabling sleep onset. Without adequate magnesium, GABA function is impaired. Without adequate GABA function, the brain struggles to quiet itself at night. The result is the racing mind, the inability to switch off, the lying awake staring at the ceiling that so many adults over 60 describe as simply part of getting older. It is not simply part of getting older. It is frequently a magnesium deficiency masquerading as insomnia. Magnesium-rich foods include dark leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, dark chocolate, avocado, black beans, and almonds. A magnesium glycinate supplement, the form most bioavailable and least likely to cause digestive discomfort, taken 30 to 60 minutes before bed, has been shown in multiple clinical trials to improve sleep onset, sleep duration, and sleep quality in older adults. Talk to your doctor before beginning any supplement, but do talk to them, because this is a simple, inexpensive, well-researched intervention that is genuinely helping thousands of seniors sleep better right now. I want to leave you with a reframe that I hope changes how you think about sleep for the rest of your life. Most people treat sleep as the thing that happens after their real day is over. The passive, unconscious, unproductive hours between the days that actually matter. The science says the opposite. Sleep is not the end of your day. It is the foundation of every day that follows. It is the hours during which your brain cleans itself of the proteins that cause dementia, during which your muscles repair the micro damage that makes them stronger, during which your heart rate drops and your blood pressure rests and your cardiovascular system recovers from the demands of waking life, during which your immune system produces the cytokines and natural killer cells that protect you from infection and disease, during which your emotional memories are consolidated and your stress responses are recalibrated for the day ahead. Every good decision you make tomorrow, every step you take confidently, every moment you feel sharp and present and fully alive, it all begins tonight, in the hour before you close your eyes, in the ritual that the world's longest-lived people figured out, not through science, but through the accumulated wisdom of lives fully and carefully lived. They did not call it a sleep protocol. They called it the end of a good day, and they protected it, because they understood, in a way that people who live long enough always come to understand, that how you end each day determines how many more days you get.
I am not asking you to change everything tonight. I am asking you to change one thing. Pick one element from the ritual we discussed. The warm bath. The dim lights. The 3 specific gratitudes. The 5 breathing cycles. Just one. Tonight. And notice what is different tomorrow morning. Because one change, done consistently, compounds into something remarkable over weeks and months. That is how the world's longest-lived people built their habits. Not through dramatic overhauls. Through one quiet, consistent, deliberate choice repeated until it became as natural as breathing. If this video gave you something valuable, please subscribe. Every week we bring you the honest, research-backed truth about what your body needs to thrive, not just survive, after 60. Share this with someone you care about who struggles with sleep. Because they deserve to know that what they are experiencing is not inevitable. And the solution might be as simple as what they do in the hour before bed. See you in the next video.